Welcome everyone to episode 57 and our second podcast anniversary. We are back at the scene of the original crime, and so we are inviting you to join us. So grab something to drink in your favorite project and yarn over with us.
You have just made my day.
The scene of the crime. It's a crime.
Happy anniversary to Yarn Over With Us. Happy anniversary to Yarn Over With Us. Happy anniversary to our yarn circle. Happy anniversary to Yarn Over With Us. Happy anniversary! 2 years with us. If you watched us from the very beginning, then you have seen 2 years of a lot of junk drawers.
Oh my God. Shenanigans. We're always full of shenanigans.
I am Susie Lanier, if you were new, and I actually live in Huntsville, Alabama, but I am in the Charlotte area at Linda's house. And those of you that are regular viewers know that we usually are not together. We usually are on a split screen in different houses, different states. And we have made that work for 2 years, but we always
are 57 episodes.
Yes, this is episode 57.
Yeah.
That's so amazing. And we have almost 3,000 subscribers. We're right at 2,900, right? We might be there now.
I don't know. We've been so busy having fun. We haven't really been checking comments or anything.
That's
and
right.
We're so sorry.
And those of you that have subscribed and shared and liked, y'all have been a big part of that. And so we just want to thank every one of you for being a part of this. And really, it's something that we dreamed about for quite a long time. And it eventually has become a reality. And so we have loved sharing our lives with you. And we have a fun episode.
We do.
We have a lot planned. In fact, we're going to have part 1 and part 2 because, you know, I actually came down here for the Southern Comfort Fiber Fest, which we had an amazing time at.
Which is part 2.
Yep, that's going to be part 2.
Full disclosure, all of that's happened, but it's going to be way too long.
Yes.
So we're going to kind of have 2 different segments.
Yeah. So today is going to be kind of more like our normal
yarn circle.
Yeah, yarn circle. Up. We're catching up. Going to
celebrating.
Bring you up to date on some news and things that is important for you to know. But what we want to do to begin with is, you don't know what I'm getting ready to do you?
I never know what she's getting ready to do. First let me tell them who I am.
Oh, that's right.
It's so funny. If you remember in the first episode, I had to say, "Who are you?" Now it's like, "Who am I? I don't know. I'm just that other person. I'm the other one." No, my name is Linda Belcher, and so which you probably know unless you're brand new, but yeah. So, you know, can I quick say this? So we used to say, "Oh my gosh, if people could hear the conversations we have." Well, you're hearing them. So there it is. You're on the phone with us. So, which is really how most of our friendship has been on the phone.
It has.
But now we get together almost once a week, every 2 weeks.
On the computer.
Yeah, on the computer. I mean, we still talk, but I mean, we get to see each other. And I don't know why we don't use Zoom, or not Zoom, just
FaceTime.
Yeah, FaceTime more often.
Yeah, I don't know. We're usually busy. We're usually talking to each other in
our pajamas.
Or in the nooks and crannies of our life. We're folding clothes, washing clothes, cooking, and so it's hard to do that.
So anyway, so you know, our very, very first episode was.
Well, that's where I was going. So the first episode was called The Compliment. And if you are new here, well, I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to give you a little clip of that first episode 2 years ago called The Compliment. that little introduction to us was only about 9 minutes long. We're not even going to share the whole 9 minutes. We're just going to share the meat of that little podcast. And so when you get finished seeing that, we're going to tell you the rest of the story. So here you go. And so there was a lady in front of me, and she was putting her groceries up, to be checked out. And she was so friendly. She looked at me. She smiled real pretty at me. And
I'm worried now.
But I smiled back at her. So anyway, she got her groceries up there, and she looked at me and she said, whoa, she said, I don't need to come to the grocery store when I'm hungry. She said, look at all this junk I've put in my grocery cart. And so I said, I've got stuff in my grocery cart that can be defined as junk food too. I said, I think we all do that. And so she smiled real pretty at me, and she, they were checking her groceries out, and she looked back at me and smiled at me again. And I'm thinking, man, this woman is very friendly. And so there was all kinds of things that started going through my mind, and I thought, is there something on my face? And then I thought, is there something wrong with my clothes? And I wanted to look, but it was like, I didn't want to make it obvious that I'm wondering, why are you being so friendly? Isn't that crazy that we think it's odd that people are friendly?
Yes.
So anyway, she was just being really friendly. So all of a sudden, she looks back at me, and she's smiling at me. And this is what she said to me. She said, when are you due?
That's not what I was expecting.
Okay, so when she said that to me, it was like this tornado of thoughts that started going through my mind. So this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, oh my gracious, I look so fat that she thinks I'm pregnant. But then the next thought that went through my mind was, oh my, she thinks I'm young enough to be pregnant. So then I'm thinking, oh, this might be good. And then the next thing that went through my mind was, oh my gracious, I have to tell her I'm not pregnant. Well, that's what I was thinking. I thought, how do I tell this woman that I'm not pregnant? Because I thought she's going to be humiliated. So I thought, okay, the only thing I can do is just tell her. So I mean, these thoughts were just in nanoseconds that were running through my mind. So I looked at her and I said, I'm not pregnant. And she said, I'm so. I mean, I looked at her and I said, I'm not pregnant. And she said, oh, I'm so. I said, no, it's okay. I said, it's okay. I said, listen.
The humiliation.
I know. I mean, you're seeing her process and stuff. I said, no, really, it's okay. I said, I am 61 years old. And I said, you have just made my day. I said, look, I have got 3 grown children. I have got 3 grandchildren. I am a grandmama. And I said, you have just asked me when I'm due. I said, that is the most amazing thing. She said, you are 61 years old. I said, yeah, I'm 61. I'm a grandmama. She said, you do not look 61.
Well, there you go. There it is.
Said,
drop the mic,
I said, listen,
be done.
I said, you are my best friend. I said, you are my best friend. I told him, I said, that will probably never happen to me again, but I will never forget how old I was when somebody asked me when I was due. That's a pretty amazing story. And whenever that happened 2 years ago, I was 61 years old, as you heard there in that video. And that was pretty amazing. We've gotten a lot of laughs out of that. So anyway, the rest of the story, 2 years later, in the same month, after we have started our podcast, we get to tell we have another story. And so here's the story. we have done a lot of fun little things since I've been here, but one of the things that we did is we went on Saturday to what town were we in?
It's called Salisbury Emporium.
There you go. In Salisbury, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm. It's an antique mall.
It's an antique mall.
Really
so
nice.
we were there and we were browsing through, and we had picked up a couple of things, and Linda told me, she said, look, I'm going to just go to the register and I'm going to put my stuff up there. And I said, okay, I'll just stay here. I'll wait for you. So while I'm standing there, this sweet little elderly lady came by me and she was just kind of browsing. And I thought, well, I'll be nice to her and I'll talk to her. And so I spoke to her and I said, are you seeing a lot of things that you like? And she said, yeah. And I said, I bet you're reminiscing, because, in an antique store, there's lots of older things. I mean, I reminisce because I reminisce because I see things that, toys I played with as a child and dishes that my mom had. Yeah, I mean, it's actually really neat to go into those stores. And so she said, I'm seeing a lot of things that I really remember, a lot of reminiscing. And she said, the thing that makes me really sad is all of the pictures, like the pictures of the children. And it's like, why do the families not have those pictures anymore? And I said, oh yeah. I said, that's really sad, that everybody that knew them is probably gone, and their stuff ends up in a store like this. And so anyway, she was smiling at me really pretty, and she had this real compassionate look come across her face. And she came up close to me and she laid her hand on my stomach. And she said, honey, when is your baby due? I felt like I had just been called up in a whirlwind of a time capsule and flew back 2 years to the grocery store. And I'm thinking, oh my Lord, I can't believe this is happening again. And I'm thinking, I can't believe Linda's not standing here to hear this. And so then I'm thinking, I'm having those nanosecond thoughts again. And the last time I told the truth. Well, this time I thought, I have to lie to her. Because I just couldn't embarrass her. I couldn't embarrass that little old lady. So then I'm thinking, okay, she thinks I'm pregnant. How pregnant do I look? And I thought, well, maybe I look about 6 months pregnant. So she's waiting for me to answer her question. And I said, well, in about 3 months, the baby will be here. And I'm thinking, where is Linda? She ain't gonna believe this.
I came back from the register and she's standing there. She says, Linda, come here. And I thought, oh, she said, you will not believe what happened. I'm thinking, really? I thought, did you break something,
Oh, Lord.
And we're standing in front of this big wooden bench like that maybe was at a train station. And she told me.
And we were standing near this bench.
And I'm glad I wasn't in front of the lady because I would have embarrassed her laughing so hysterically.
When I told her
in laughter.
I got so tickled while I was telling her that somebody again, and now I'm 63. At 63, I have been asked when my baby is due. And so I'm telling her, and as I'm telling her, have you ever had laughter to just overcome your whole body and you feel like you cannot even stand?
Oh, I was crying.
And we just plop on that bench thing there in the store.
But the way I laugh was alarming because the woman who's at the register comes running over. She says, are you okay? I said, I'm okay. I'm laughing. I'm not crying.
So we told her what had happened.
She said.
And So anyway, we recovered from all of that, and so we kind of got split up in our shopping, and I'm downstairs, and I'd actually got a phone call, and you went.
I was still upstairs.
You were upstairs, and
this man comes over to me. He's late 50s, probably. I don't know. Maybe I can't tell. We're going to talk about that too. You just can't tell how old people are anymore. Anyway, he came over to me and he said, "I just want you to know that you have made our day with that laughter, whatever it was about." And I said, "Do you want to know what it's about?" He said, "Yes." And he goes like this. He's like, "Come on." And he calls his wife over. And so she comes
they were
over.
really, we made such a scene.
We made a scene.
We made such a scene that everybody in there was wondering what in the world was we laughing about.
We told them, and they just laughed so hard. We said, "Oh my gosh." But so now we're showing our video, the compliment to all these people, not because it has anything to do with knitting,
well,
but
at least telling them the link. Go watch this. It will explain.
And so it just got to be a really funny thing. And then the lady at the register, her name's Kathy.
Kathy and Kate.
Yeah. And Kathy is now I went over there and they're joking about it, like, now be careful. You don't want her to go into labor. And they're really, oh gosh, it just got to be a big thing.
And so what I did is when we were checking out, I said, we've got to get a picture. And so we'll share this picture. And so I went behind the counter and I said, I said, you know how the women, when they're pregnant, they just always cup the bottom of their stomachs. And so I went in there and I cupped the bottom of my belly, and they put their hands on.
And she had to make the one gal.
Yeah, she said.
She didn't want to embarrass you.
I said, give me that hand. You got to touch the baby. So anyway, here's the picture. Oh my gosh. But we had so much fun. And then we were walking out, and there was a lady coming in, and we found out that she was a vendor, and she stopped us, and she said, I don't know what you ladies were laughing about in there. She said, but it made my day. Whatever it was, your laughter was just wonderful. So then we told her the story. But
it would have been really embarrassing for the little lady, I think, because she wouldn't have understand my outbursts of laughter because she doesn't know the whole story. But it was so ironic. And in the episode of The Compliment, you said, "I will never forget how old I was when somebody asked me
when I was due." 61 years old, and now I have to say, I'll never forget when somebody asked me when I was due. 63 years old.
Oh, it's so wrong. It's so, oh my goodness.
But it's so neat that it happened 2 years later, and we could talk about it again. And so anyway.
I said, Susie, you're just taking one for the team. You're getting content for the videos for the Yarn Circle.
But, we've met so many wonderful people through the Fiber Fest that we've gone to the last couple of years. And we have,
really fun.
Our Zoom calls. And I don't know, our community is just really growing. And Linda, you had a really neat thing to happen just a few weeks ago.
So, last week.
Yeah,
last week.
Was it last week or week before last?
Oh, I don't know.
Anyway, it's been in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, because my friend Jan was here, and we were... she's been filling her house with beautiful furniture from Facebook Marketplace. And I was in need of a table. And so I thought, well, I'm going to go look, and so I went and looked, and I found a beautiful table, and I really wanted it. And I got all emotional about it because it matches the table that my son made for me. And so I wrote them, and it was 23 miles away. And they said, "Oh, I'm sorry, it's already been sold, but if it falls through, we'll let you know." And then it did fall through. And I was so excited. I mean, I got all weepy about it because I was I had this big emotional attachment
You'd already
to this
attached to
dumb
it.
table just because it matched what I call my David table. It's the table David made for me. So I'm all excited, I'm all emotional. I mean, it's just dumb, but grief does that, right? So I wrote, and then I found out I was actually talking to the husband of the couple, and well, first of all, I sent a picture of the table. I said, "This will go so great with the table my son made me."
Yeah.
And he sees the word singer on it. And he said, my wife and I are in our 20s, but she sews on an actual machine like that and crochets. Well, now, ding, ding, okay, I snapped out of it, and I'm like, well, she crochets, yay. And so I said to him well, I have, my friend and I have a YouTube channel, and you need to tell her about it. And so he said, will do. And then he comes back in about 4 minutes, and he said, I told my wife, and she said, is it Linda? I already watch her. I'm like, what?
Isn't that an awesome story?
And so then they asked,
and this is what she said. She said, they are one of my favorite podcasts to
for
watch.
Comfort. That's my comfort.
That is my comfort podcast.
And so then, she said, he said, well, she's going to leave a little gift for you in the table drawer. And I said, that's so sweet. She doesn't need to do that. I mean, the table was like $25. I'm like, I feel like I'm just about stealing the table as it is. And then it worked out where, if she's actually going to be home, she wants to meet you. So I actually got to meet Kristen. And here's a picture of Kristen. And my friend Jan took this picture. But you guys, okay. She made me a little stuffy, and this is her own pattern. It's a little dragon. Can you see it?
That is
cute?
Darling.
The little nostrils, and it's that, I don't know what this yarn is called, but it's super
kind of like a chenille.
Yeah. Isn't it darling? And she gave that to me.
Yeah, your grandson's going to fight you for it.
I know. Because he watches the episodes, he's going to see it.
He's going to play with
it here. Well, the funny thing is I have Beanie Babies. I have a little Christmas tree up in the guest room, and I'm putting Beanie Babies in the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
So I'll put this up in the Christmas tree. But isn't that darling? But so, it was kind of neat that kind of a melancholy moment turned out to be just such a blessing. And that's the way the Lord works. But so it was fun to meet Kristen. I did invite her to the fiber market, but she probably was working. For some reason, she was off that day that I was able to go up. But so, yeah, there's...
You know what I was really excited about is to see her age.
I know.
We see the analytics on our channel, and, a big group of our audience that we draw are people around our age. Yeah. But look at her age. Yeah. And it's like, yay, we're pulling some people that are maybe a few decades below us, but anyway.
Our children's age. But, back to the story about the age and what Mary Catherine said, I think was so profound. Because you know how it is, like, we look at people, and I'm getting to where I can't tell how old they are anymore. Well, just to
kind of help people to understand, Mary Catherine had called me, and that's my daughter, while I was there, and I told her what had happened. And so Mary Catherine said,
Yeah. I mean, if we are starting to lose the ability, to tell age, because in our heads we're still young, right? It's like, but everybody either looks like our child, but they could be our grandchildren sometimes, So probably older people, look at us, and we might look really young to them too. I mean, this one was in her 80s, I would say.
Young enough to be pregnant.
Young enough to be pregnant. So there it is. So I'm sure that has something to do with it. I'll know.
Well, it was a great thing to happen for our 2-year anniversary. And speaking of our 2-year anniversary, we have got a giveaway.
We do. We have a giveaway.
We're so excited about it. And
so we have 2 giveaways, actually.
Actually, 2 giveaways. Here, let's get them over here.
So these are actually gifts from Swan City Yarns. So Carolyn has donated these to the channel, to our listeners, and we are going to... it would be what is this, episode 57? Episode 59, which is technically the next time we record together, because we're going to be recording 2 episodes. They're going to come out. But we're going to do a drawing. But in order to be eligible for the drawing, leave a comment on this video and tell us where you're from. And then if you want to add, if you're going to do the make along with us. So, of course, if you haven't been following, you're brand new. This is our signature yarn that Carolyn from Swan City Yarns has made. She took our logo, which was our request. Where's the logo? Well, right now the logo. Anyway, the logo. There it is. And so she made some yarn for us. And so we're doing a make along. We'll talk about our projects in just a second. But yeah, so we're going to have drawing for two fun people will get a sock set. So
and all you have to do to be a part of the drawing is just tell us where you're from
and subscribe.
And subscribe because we can't
but
really.
leave a comment.
But yeah, just leave a comment and
we'll
just tell us where you're from.
Yeah. So
and
thank you,
that'll
Carolyn.
be easy.
That's very generous. Very
yes,
nice.
we are thrilled to death.
Yeah,
and speaking of the giveaway, the reason that this is a yarn that we're giving away is because we are in a make-along right now. There's not really a beginning or an end to it. And
except if you want to be in the fashion show, the project show.
So those of you that are working on projects, you just need to submit that project by October the 15th, and then you'll be in the fashion show. Yeah. But we're just wanting you to use the yarn that was named after our show, Yarn Over With Us, and then we've got Susie's Glasses and Linda's Fave. And there's all different bases, and you can go to swancityyarns.com and order.
Look at how that so should we just jump into the projects we're making with it?
Yeah,
so
we
first,
can do that.
First, start with what's in your hand, because that's in your hand. Isn't that beautiful?
This is a sock that I'm making, and I'm using the little minis. I'm using the Trusty Sock base, which is 75% merino and 25% nylon. And this is a Kay Jones sock pattern, and we'll put the name up so that you can see which one I'm doing. But I love this pattern because it's got this little lace section in it, and the pattern actually calls for this little stripe of two solids and a stripe of two solids here.
And this was in our episode last time as one of our 20, it's really 21, but
20
tips
or patterns that we were recommended. And so I decided, now Kate's pattern has, it's like a short row heel, I think is what she did, but I prefer the heel flap and gusset. So I went and pulled that from another pattern that I liked, and I did heel flap and gusset, and of course carried the red down here. And then I started with the variegated, this one, for going down the sock and to the foot. And then I'm going to
draping beautifully.
And then Kay's toe in this pattern is a neat looking toe. I've never done it, but I'm going to do her actual toe that's in this pattern. And I'm going to end the pattern with the red. So we'll have the red down here. So anyway,
perfect.
I love it. I love this little sock. And I'm doing the size medium, 64 stitch cast on. And I'm using a US 1.5 for the leg and the foot, but then I have to change over. It's a 9-inch circular. And then for the cuff and heel flap, gusset, and toes, I have to go down to double points, and I go down to a 1 because I knit looser on the double points than I do on the circular. Some people it's reversed. They do the opposite, but I'm tighter on my 9-inch circular. So anyway, that's kind of how I'm constructing this sock. But I just love that little bit of lace in there, and it's being
very pretty, very fun.
It's got the stripes on the top and bottom. Anyway, it's going to turn out really neat. So that's my sock.
But she has a finished. So we're like getting into the make along because, well, it's our make along. But so and by the way, you can submit your progress on 2 avenues. Should we talk about that now? I just digressed.
It's okay.
Yeah. So you can share your projects on Ravelry, of course. And so we have
at Yarn Over With Us. Yeah. That's our group on Ravelry.
But we're also going to be opening a Discord group. So, and we'll get to why. But we want you to share your progress. Don't even wait until you're all done. Share with us as you're moving along, just as we are. So we want to see your projects. But anyway,
and this was one of the patterns on our last episode that I actually that I liked and had decided to make, and I have finished it. So I'm going to show it to you.
I love it.
This is the Zerzal.
Look at that.
This is the Zerzal shawl. And so I love
how that did That was cool.
Isn't that
striping.
pretty?
That's
And
really
so
pretty.
this is the way that it looks.
Isn't that neat? To me, it has kind of a Stephen
It does
West
have a little bit of a
vibe.
It does.
Because he's so his color mixing in different kind of shapes and angles is so neat.
And there really is a lot of different ways that you can wear it.
Let me hold it up all the way.
Yeah, there you go.
Look, see, isn't that cool how it does that? It's
Yeah,
like waves.
so I just
Ooh, it'd be good in blues.
So if you have two 100-gram hanks of, this was a light fingering, a 3-ply, and the pattern actually calls for a 4-ply fingering and using a US 6 needle, but I used the Silky Sock, I think is what I used. Silky Sock,
yes,
which is a light fingering, and so I had to go down to a US 3 for this pattern.
Wow, you got
but
it done.
This is called the Zorzal.
And
Zorzal,
she
Zorzal.
steam blocked it.
I just steam blocked it.
She was going to wet block it, but it has been raining and so humid here. But it's steamed perfect. Are you even going to bother wet blocking it?
No, because it has steamed so beautiful.
I wouldn't either.
And of course, you know,
It's
if you've
done.
watched other episodes of ours, we've talked about our steam iron.
Mm-hmm.
And Linda, can we put a link?
There's
for
already
that
a link on our website.
on our website for the steam
Under
iron that we
knitting
use. And what's so
category.
neat about that
Resources.
steam iron, if you knit and have to block or crochet and have to
wonderful.
block, it's the most wonderful tool because the plate doesn't get hot. It's an iron. It has the weight of an iron, but the plate does not get hot. It's only steam coming out.
You never have to touch your project. You can, but you don't.
just
do you?
hover
I
above.
don't.
Sometimes I do because
you?
sometimes, and you can block acrylic with it, which is amazing. Baby blankets come out like cloth. And see, normally you could not use an iron with steam to block acrylic because it'll melt it. But this iron will not melt acrylic because the plate never gets hot. And so it is the most amazing thing to have as a knitter. You could literally lay it on top of silk and not move it and it won't burn it. But you put it on linen and cotton, it takes every bit of the wrinkles out. And so it is the most cost. It's about $200.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's worth it. I mean, save up for it, ask for it for Christmas. I mean, it is the most wonderful. And that's all I did is I used that iron to steam block this, and it took me, I don't know, 5-6 minutes to steam the shawl. So, and how I wore it, because I wore it to the Fiber Festival, is I just actually put it around my neck and I tied little knots down here at the bottom, which weighted it. And I never had to readjust it at the Fiber Festival. And I love how it's two-toned. You know, you see the green on one side, the mint green on one side, and we call it Susie's glasses, which my glasses are red, but this is really more of a salmon or a melon color. But it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful, and it looks great with my top. Those of you that live in the Huntsville area, I got this at Sweet Pineapple. We all love Sweet Pineapple, but this is a Sweet Pineapple, little top. But anyway, so I have finished one project, and I've got a couple of more that I'm going to be doing. I know that I'm going to be using my DK variegated, which would be it's Trusty Sock 2 DK weight. I'm going to crochet a little shawlette with that.
I love
so I've
that.
got several projects that I'm going to be doing.
The word Southern in it.
Yes.
That was
beautiful.
in our pattern. Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah.
It's very fun. Yeah.
Yeah, so the make along is fun. And we even met some people at the Fiber Festival that came to pick up their yarn there from Swan City. And so I know that we've got quite a few people, and we've seen some people post on Instagram that their progress of what they're doing. So there's so many options that you can do in this make along with this yarn. So
and mine is not done.
Yes, but it is almost done.
Well, here's the thing. So Thursday night, I found a boo-boo. I don't even remember what, so I had to take some of it down, but it doesn't matter. So anyway, we can kind of see you can kind of see how it'll look, but
Oh yeah, it's going to look great.
Yeah.
And you're going to be knitting a sweater that you're going to wear this on top of.
Right. But I can wear this with anything. I'm seeing this with my denim. I wear a denim jacket a lot with.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I think it's going to be really pretty. It's
what pattern was that?
This is floor. It's got the little bobbles and it's floor. And it's in, of course, our pattern. And I think when we block it out, it's going to look really nice.
So you're using the variegated. Is that the right side?
So I'm using the trusty sock for the variegated. I went ahead and used the regular sock.
And you're using the little solid minis too.
Solid minis.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically there's 25 rows and then you do a bobble row with, a row before each of those. It's really easy with a make one on each, or knit front and back on both sides of it.
Which is creating this little
and adding.
dip
so
here.
it's really comfort knitting. And when I get bored, then I'm making bobbles. So there you go. So it's turning out very nice.
Yes,
I like
does.
it. And it'll look really nice when I have socks on the bottom.
Yeah.
Wear these all together. We're just going to be yarning all over the place.
A sock and a shawl.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Yeah,
so we hope you join
fun.
us in the knit along. The yarn again comes in all different bases. You can get this and anything you want. So I use the trusty sock. You use the one that has the sock or the fingering with no nylon at all.
Yeah, the silky sock is wool and cashmere and silk. So beautiful blend.
Yes.
Beautiful blend of fiber. And again, thank you so much, Carolyn, with Swan City Yarns. We had so much fun with them.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next episode. We're trying not to make this
one
too long.
Yes, we're trying.
We have a whole nother episode of the Friday Mart. But back to where to find us. So, of course, we're on Instagram and obviously we're on YouTube. But we are opening now the Discord group for people who are familiar with Discord. And we're going to talk more about that even in another episode. In fact, my daughter had a really nice idea. Sarah said, maybe we should make a video on how to use Discord. There's a lot of things that Discord can do that other platforms cannot do. She said it's the best of the 2020s, and I'm like, or 2000s.
Yes, so the neat thing about Discord is there's so many different things that you can do in there, and those of you that are used to using it would understand. Those of you that haven't, I'm just going to give you a little sneak peek of what I'm really excited about. There is a video chat room. And once you download the app on your phone, and of course, the way that you'll get invited to the Discord group is through email. So, of course, you need to go to
our email.
Yeah, you need to go to our website and sign up for our email. And we don't send out a lot, but that's how we know that we're sending to people that are really a part of the channel and want to be more intimate with the community. And so anyway, the neat thing about Discord is that there is a chat room there that you can go in and enter the chat room and see if somebody is there knitting. Me and Linda, you might find us there sometimes.
Well, it'll be really great for people who are 6 hours ahead of us.
Time zones.
Yeah, like on our Zoom calls, we're meeting at 10 o'clock in the morning, but it's 10 o'clock at night in Tasmania, which we do actually have several viewers in Australia.
Yeah.
So it's just too late. But, we might be sitting at 7 o'clock in the morning knitting. We might pop on and then it's only 7 o'clock at night there. I believe it's a hard 12-hour difference. So I think it'll just open. And even if we're not there, it doesn't matter. You can chat with whoever's there.
Meet people that are a part of our community there in the chat room on Discord.
And I'm going to so we're still getting a lot of questions about ranunculus, about fitting, about understanding the videos of the knit to fit. And so we're going to have a ranunculus channel on there. They call them channels, but they're more like
rooms.
Yeah, chapters.
You just kind of go in there and read. And
that way, but what's really neat is if we're on there, somebody could actually show their sweater. We could actually talk if we wanted to. Now, you don't have to turn your camera on. You can just talk. But we could actually communicate with them directly, which
It's just
going
gonna,
to, it's going to be another avenue.
It's going to expand our community, and not everybody.
She wanted to moderate it, so I'm like, good, because I don't have time.
So Heather will be moderating our Ravelry group, and some of you, that's very comfortable, and you're happy there. But some of you might want to be a part of it, and you might want to be part of both. And we are we feel so blessed that we have Yarn Circle members that are wanting to help, because it's way too much for me and Linda to do all of it. So we're just very, very
so share wherever you can. I mean, if you want to do it on Ravelry, or if you want to do it on the Discord, but we want to see your projects, which leads us into our spotlight. We are still doing it, and I know we've gotten a few submissions. Of course, we had like all these specials. We had the patterns sharing, and so we didn't do the community spotlight, and of course we're not doing one this time, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to wait until we have at least 10 submissions. So if you don't see your project, don't worry, it'll be on eventually. And you submit it yes, to contact yarnoverwithus@gmail.com. So it's the contact is before the yarn over with us. That's all one word. Contact, and we're putting it right here. And so send your attached videos of your project. Let us know who the designer is. In fact, help me, please, and send the URL link of the pattern from probably Ravelry. Just stick it in your email. That'd be really helpful. And then tell us what weight yarn you knit your project with and what yarn it was. And so, but we're still doing the spotlight because we still, want to do that. But in between that, you can get onto the social media. Just, show up at the Yarn Circle however you can. So, and what else about that?
I think that's probably about it about that. But I got some goodies, squishy mail to show.
Oh, we do have a lot of finishes, and we have a lot of we still have a lot of works in progress. We've kind of sidelined somewhat to do these, but so what you got going on?
So your blanket. I
got to touch it.
Yes, I brought my boucle. Yes, boucle. With a homespun house.
One of those. It is so squishy.
Yeah, so this
is the neatest.
This is the July yarn. No, that's the June. That's the June yarn club. And this was the July. And I haven't shown this, but I'll tell you what I'm going to start doing with this blanket. And I did bring it with me.
This is neat. I like yarn with texture. I love the little bumps.
So this blanket is turning out to be a monster. It's already so big.
It's huge. We're tall people. We have long legs, and it goes all the way from here to the bottom of our legs.
We'll turn it that way. So you see how am I doing this the right? Okay, so this is the way I'm knitting it, this way, back and forth. So it's going back and forth this way.
Right, this way.
But I've decided that I am going.
Need me to hold it?
It's actually, my needles are in there. Let me make sure my needles don't come out. So I've decided I'm going to make 2 blankets. That's what I'm going to do.
Because it's going to be way too big.
It's going to be way too big.
It's already huge.
It's already huge.
It's only half.
So the blanket is going to go long this way. It's going to be this way.
I think that's neat, though.
And I like it. And this will be the width.
I like it better.
And then it'll go long way. So the stripes that I'm doing, and of course, this isn't in the pattern. I'm using the Cozy Comfort blanket pattern, I think, by a homespun house. What is her name? Molly? Oh, I can't believe I can't remember her name.
It'll come to us.
It'll come to me. It'll come to me in a few minutes.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's her Cozy Comfort blanket. And
I love it so much.
And it's so long. I mean, I can take and put it up to my shoulders, and it goes down past my feet. And then it's going to be,
it's
wide. Going to be this wide, and I still have to add this on as the 6th one. And so I've got...
This is a 6-month blanket. This is not even a year blanket.
So I get to make 2. So this is going to be the first color on the 2nd blanket. And then I have 5 more colors coming. And so this blanket club is literally going to give me 2 blankets for the year, which I'm really excited about.
And I'm like, who are you giving this blanket to again?
Well, I'm going to enjoy it first. I'm going to enjoy it first, and then I'll decide who might end up with it.
It's like the sky. It's got like, it's showing up really vibrant on this computer, but it's really like these really deep sky blues and then some clouds and
yeah,
yummy.
it's beautiful.
That's a yummy game.
And so y'all know that I'm doing that. I kind of did that in case you're new, that you're not going to be sitting there thinking, what is she talking about? So that's a blanket club that I'm a part of with a Homespun House with the Boucle Blanket Club. Right. And I get one hank of Boucle dyed, and she is a wonderful dyer. I absolutely love her Afro-Color. I just love everything that she does. And so then the other thing that I'm doing is a Yarn Bliss box, the Yarn Bliss box with Speckled Finch Studios. And this was the July colors. I'm behind. And I'm making granny squares with I'm making the Yorkshire Rose Square crochet. I don't have any of those to show, but anyway, these are my colors. And I was up to date until July hit and August hit, but I've been doing a lot of grandkids stuff, and I'm just kind of falling behind a little bit.
Those would be stunning socks.
Yeah, they would be.
I mean, if you weren't having
But
plans.
I love the way that they are dyeing their.
See the green?
Yeah, it is beautiful.
I mean, that is
beautiful
really
colors.
Pretty.
And so, that's my squishy mail.
Your squishy mail.
And so by the end of the year, I really think that I'm going to get 2 blankets with this blanket club, just smaller blankets that instead of making these huge blankets, that I will be making 4 smaller blankets. So, I just have to show you my progress each time.
Well, we haven't been showing projects for a while,
yeah,
so
we
haven't.
Good. We haven't. Do you have anything
yes,
that you want to show?
With full disclosure, I was making a little sparkly shawl for my granddaughter, and I really didn't like the way it was looking at all. So I tore it out like yesterday, I think it was. And I was just way too tired to really get it going. But so anyway, I am making progress on the sock.
Oh, that looks great.
And so it's striping out real pretty. So, and I'm basically only knitting this at church. It's my church sock. So I'm a greeter at church, so I get there early, and we meet and pray, and then we have a lot of time before people even start too. So I've got time to do that. So this is really pretty though. Very very manly with the navy purples and blues.
Yes, it is.
So in my Linda sock bag that Susie gave me one Christmas, can't remember. And then I'm very proud to say I'm just coming along beautifully with with the sweater. So I'm going to stand up because
that is turning out great.
Yeah, so this is the cardigan, and it's really interesting. I have only been knitting sweaters really for like 2 years, so I'm not like a ginormously seasoned knitter, but I have already learned that if I'm ever gonna make cardigans, they will always be band added, because it's kind of like in sewing, you simply do not really know where you're going to want those buttonholes, and to put them in during the project is a no-go for me. It just, especially for a woman, because in a woman, if you sew, this for blouses, you always want a button placed right here for the obvious reason. But if they're not fitted to you, the button could be here, the button could be here, and you get this big gap, right?
So true. Yeah.
And so especially for women, this is a bigger deal. For men, I don't know that they're ever even going to button the cardigan, right? But he wanted one with the collar and that. So this has been a real it's been a real journey. It's got this cool little cable. I literally took 4 patterns, combined them to make my own. So to get the best of them all, because I could only understand
and tell the
one
yarn
of them.
that you're using.
This is the city.
It feels wonderful.
This is the City Tweed DK from Knit Picks, and I believe I'm using a size 7 needle. I'm pretty, yeah, it's a size 7 needle. So but it feels and looks much thicker. You know, most men's cardigans are worsted weight, and that is really just too much sweater for here. So that's why we're doing that. So I made a mistake on one of them. So I'm literally knitting this, oh no, the current one right from the mistake, which is perfect because I know there's enough there. So now I've got a big mess. I'll fix it. But yeah, I've been working on that. That's my project. And then, yeah, that's kind of it because I was working on the sock, the shawl, which I took apart. And then I just kind of abandoned them all. And I try to touch all of them every day, even for 5 minutes, so I don't forget the patterns because I've memorized them all.
Yeah.
So I'm really kind of working on these two. You guys, I really, after I'm done with this make along, I have got to just focus on Christmas gifts. I really just can't. I can't be a selfish knitter. I feel selfish, but I have to stop. I'd like to start the sweater, but
we know that you've got family members that are requesting socks. They're requesting
I gotta really
socks.
Get on the sock train.
Yeah, my family's talking about socks.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have to put a picture
Did you see it on Instagram?
Yeah,
we'll put them up.
Well, we need.
So
I've got
fun.
a picture of the socks that we can put up right here. But let me tell you about that. My husband was so excited about these socks. I feel really bad because I've knitted all these years and I have knitted him so few things. I think I've talked about the sweater that I knitted him years ago. And he's very hot natured, so he doesn't wear sweaters, but he won't let anybody else wear it, you know, so it just is, he just protects the sweater, and it's his and nobody can mess with it. It's his. I can't give it away. I can't let anybody else wear it, but he don't wear it. And so I've really not done a lot of knitting for him, but I was making these socks and he asked me, when the second sock was just about finished, he said, "When are my socks going to be done?" He said, I want my socks. And so he wore them to church. I finished them the week he asked, and he wore them to church. And of course, we posted on Instagram.
They're spicy.
He even talks about them in his sermon on that Sunday. And well, you see that he was really excited about those socks. He had to show them off while he was preaching.
I think it's great. I mean, I just think that's, well, you know, if he took time to do that, he really is into it. So yes, you need to make him more socks.
And I do. I have more yarn to make him more socks. He is very knit-worthy. He is very knit-worthy.
He is knit-worthy.
We all know what that's all about.
Yep.
And
that's so sweet.
I did finish those, but I didn't even think about it till just now that they were a finished project since our last episode.
It's okay.
And
we can't keep everything in order. Life doesn't always come in order.
Yeah, that's right.
You're going to get it as it comes to the brain.
So socks have they're definitely in the schedule for Christmas knitting.
Well, now that I don't mind making socks, and I'll tell you, Kelly from Knit and Chat, she's really gotten me, and there's another couple people I follow on Instagram. They're really, they're getting me onto the short socks because it's a lot less knitting.
It is.
And it keeps your feet warm all the same. And at the end of the day, that's usually what we need. You know, we're wearing pants.
Yeah.
But the ankles need to be covered and down, and we don't need them to go so high. In fact, my husband's like, you could have made mine short. I'm like, well, they were top down, so too late, But his next pair will be short. They can be shorter. So when I make my daughter's requested some socks, she's going to get short ones. But I don't mind. I think it's
and if you knit shorty socks, tell us your favorite shorty sock pattern because we're looking for them.
Yeah, and easy.
Yeah, easy socks.
See, to me now, I know that this was worthy of a fancy pattern because it's the yarn and all. But I don't know that I have time to knit all that.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, that wasn't too much lace,
was it?
Not too
much. No,
it looks so fancy.
It's a fun sock.
It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful sock.
I don't know if I would have the time or patience for it, but yeah. You gave me some yarn, I think it was from them.
Oh,
like 2-3 years ago. I still have them, and I think I'm going to make them for Sarah.
Yeah.
Because they're purple. She loves purple, and there's some purple in there. I think the mini skate's purple, so it'll be pretty. But yeah. So anything else for this one?
I can't think.
Because
of
now we got to
anything.
jump on the train of the market, and oh my gosh, we had so much fun. So come back.
Come back in a week.
Yep.
And we're gonna film part 2.
Yes.
And you'll get to see all about the Southern Comfort Fiber
We're
Fest.
wearing the same clothes. We're just going to
we
clear
had
this
a ball.
counter and get new stuff out and show us what we bought, what we're doing, what we're dreaming of making, and a lot of other things that happened there. So don't forget to follow us on Instagram and join our email at yarnoverwithus.com.
So you can be a part of the Discord group if you want to do that.
And then we'll send out all the information. And so anyway, so until next time, happy knitting. Bye.